There's around 107 billion people who have ever existed on Earth, and there is an immeasurable amount of fictional characters that have ever been created. Well, almost immeasurable. The point is, there's no way anyone can know all of them. Well, almost anyone. If all's well ends well, then you'll have gotten to know these people well enough, maybe you might even have a second date with them. That being said, it's time to list 10 interesting figures I or you didn't know until now. In last place comes Millard Fillmore.
Unlucky number 13, Millard Fillmore was an accidental president.
I mainly chose him because he looks like this guy. Also, he's the 13th president of the United States of America, and he used to be a part of the first third party in the US.
Fillmore was picked merely to balance the ticket geographically and politically. Fillmore was a Northerner, an affable man who was always dressed impeccably.
Entering the number 9 spot is Nancy Drew.
I noticed you're wearing penny loafers. I like old-fashioned things. Oh, we've noticed.
She's a popular fictional detective, some say even better than Sherlock Holmes.
Nancy's my best man. I mean, she would be if she were on the force.
She was 16 years old when the series debuted in 1930 until the 1950s where her age was changed to 18. Sadly, her creator Edward Stratemeyer died only 2 weeks after the series debuted in 1930. And she was played by Emma Roberts, a celebrity who I didn't know what she looked like until the making of this video.
In the Infinity logo spot comes Quentin Miller. Quintinius Miller-Alexandra, a member of Wedding Crashers, is one of the alleged ghostwriters of Champagne Poppy, aka Drizzy, aka Nickelodeon, aka Drake, aka Albright Drake Graham, a light-skinned Canadian rapper. I personally don't care if songs are ghostwritten as long as it sounds good to me. I mean, all of my scripts are written by this guy. Number 7. We got the creator of the first concept of the computer according to modern standards, who surprisingly I thought was Bill Gates at first, but no, it's Charles Babbage.
Charles Babbage was the only child of a tyrannical London banker, a bully at home. But his money kept his son and heir financially comfortable for life. Cambridge educated in mathematics and supremely self-possessed, Charles became an iconoclastic writer and habitual inventor.
This goes to show that being good at math will pay off someday. In the number 6 spot we have the creator of the first cartoon and animation, because everyone loves cartoons and animations. Surprisingly, not surprisingly, they both have Emile in their name, and they're both from France, and they both were born and died next to each other in France on the same day of the same hour. Speaking of animation, we have the creator of the first anime, or creators. Google was unsure who it actually was. Junichi was born first, so let's just say he did it. Also, Osamu is the creator of Astro Boy and a book called Message to Adolf. 9. In the number 4 spot we have Good Boy, who actually isn't a boy, but is she Beast? Well, she's a human woman that can turn into a male beast because of reasons. One day a councilman hired supervillains consisting of a flame in sandals, a thumb with forks for hands, and a drug dealer who was abused during her childhood by her mother for being overweight, to attack her hometown Detroit, Michigan. However, Good saves the day. Fast forward later, she throws a glass bottle at someone in protest, then she gets escorted into a police station, and the Great Lakes Avengers were in the station and said, "Hey, she's got spunk, let's put her on the team." And she became a temporary Avenger to escape jail time. The end. For number 3 I chose the second Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth.
Of all England's kings and queens, Elizabeth I is the most famous. She was imperious, cunning, sexy, ruthless, and feminine. She's become the star of movies, books, television. She was, above all, supremely successful. And yet, mysteries remain.
Fun facts: she becomes queen on the death of her half-sister, Mary, the first Queen of England, another person I didn't know. She's been portrayed more often in film and on television than any other British monarch. She's also known as the Virgin Queen, and lastly, she's the daughter of the infamous King Henry VIII, a king who split England from the Catholic Church for one of his 6 wives. The same one that got decapitated for charges of incest and treason. Also the same one with a sister who also slept with Henry.
The pimp
As you
named
can see,
Slickback.
being a king came in handy with the women back in the day.
Slickback. Slickback.
In the number 2 is the richest man to ever live. Not Bill Gates, not Jeff Bezos, but Mansa Musa, or Musa of Mali. Jeff Bezos' net worth is $133 billion, but Mansa Musa's wealth is immeasurable. Not only was he decked out with fine clothing and gold, but his slaves were too. He's so charitable, that in Cairo he spent so much gold to the poor that he caused mass inflation. He was so big that he was included on the 1375 Catalan Atlas, one of the most important world maps of medieval Europe. Some you might recognize this picture, either from textbooks or the once hit game Pop Tropica.
My boy.
So it turns out, I slightly knew him, but as a kid I didn't know what he was known for and I quickly forgot his name, but I never forgot that puzzle to solve in one of my favorite Pop Tropica arcs. Last but not least, the #1 spots goes to the founders of YouTube, Jawad Karim, Chad Hurley, and Steve Chen. I chose them because without them this video might not have made it to the light of day or any of my videos. Jawad Karim was also the first person to upload a video to the website. The video was titled, "Me at the Zoo, Exactly What You Picture." Chad Hurley was the former CEO of YouTube and in 2006 he was numbered 28th on the list of 50 people who matter. Now 2006 was also the year YouTube was sold to Google for $1.65 billion, only a year after its release. Steve Chen is the former chief technology officer of YouTube and apparently the #1 entrepreneur born in Taiwan.
Well, that'll do it for the top 10 people I/you didn't know. Hopefully you got to know them good enough and see them on that second date. I don't know how to end it.